What is going on, guys? Welcome to El Vocero del Boxeo. Here we're gonna be talking in English, in Spanish, en español, en inglés. Nosotros hablamos de todos los lenguajes, hasta en chino. Si tenemos que hablar en chino, también hablamos. Sabemos que pues Xander Zayas, el 27 de junio, que ya estamos a la esquina de eso, mi gente, ya estamos, son que 19 días lo que faltan. Vamos a apagar el abanico aquí, porque no hace tanta calor. Échale el asiento para frente. Yo no estoy lo más cómodo, pero hay que hacer esto, hay que hacer el video, hay que aclarar mucha gente o hay que enseñarle y demostrarle a la gente la realidad. La realidad es que noviembre del 2025, 3 semanas luego de que Vergil Ortiz le ganara a Eric van Lubin, 3 semanas después, yo entré a Twitter y le dejé saber a todo el mundo, le escribí en Twitter, mira, Xander Zayas va a terminar peleando contra Jaron Ennis antes de Vergil Ortiz. Bookmark it. And so 3 weeks after the Vergil Ortiz fight with Erickson Lubin, on Twitter, I notified or I posted, I told people Xander Zayas will fight Jaron Ennis before Vergil Ortiz. My prediction came true. How did we get here? We're going to talk about that here today. Obviously, obviously that other side of business is what a lot of people don't understand and don't know about. Promoters like Oscar de la Hoya obviously sometimes can be bad, but you have to take the bad with the good. See, when you have a very well known promoter and you got into the game, you got into the sport because you enjoy it, you love it, for many other reasons. People don't simply get into the sport for the money. Yes, the paydays will come. You will make a lot of money, but you have to work for it. You have to work hard for it. You have to become champion. You have to beat other champions. You have to unify. This isn't about, oh, I'm the best because I so say or think, or I'm letting you know that basically I'm the best and you have to take my word for it. Like, it doesn't work that way. Not in the sport of boxing, it doesn't. Um, there is something I do have to do. Actually, we don't need the volume or audio of Jaron Boots and his fight. As a matter of fact, I'm probably not even going to show that fight. La pelea de Xander Zayas and Jaron Boots Ennis me recuerda mucho a la pelea de Tito Trinidad contra Joppy. Voy a explicar un poquito por qué. This fight between Xander Zayas And Jaron Ennis reminds me a lot of the Tito Trinidad, Felix Tito Trinidad fight with William Joppy. I'm gonna explain. Okay, so let me just change something real quick. Obviously, I have to put up the polls in case somebody comes in here and they want to be able to talk about it or they want to vote. In case somebody decides to share the video, which that doesn't not necessarily happen because I'm stuck with a nasty algorithm, nasty racist algorithm of California. So pretty much, um, we have the Asian frauds, we have the Mexicans, and I do mean by Mexicans, um, the racist Mexicans, the pigs, los puercos California. That's the algorithm I have. Unfortunately, if I was in the East Coast, I would have a better algorithm. But unfortunately, I have Los Puercos California fucking algorithm. And unfortunately, Los Puercos are exactly what they are. A bunch of pigs, a bunch of racist pigs. They don't even they don't recognize they're not even their own people. You understand? They envy their own people. They talk shit about their own people. You know, it's hilarious. We can get into that some other time, obviously. You know how much full of shit they've always been in their entire fucking life, including their president. You know that though for the World Cup, you know what they did for the World Cup? I'm gonna do a video later on that on a different separate channel and everything else. Mexico went ahead and just ended up building little walls around all their dirty ass neighborhood, around all their trash, across their highway, so people wouldn't get the bad image or they wouldn't see the bad out of Mexico. So they went ahead and put whatever they could to blind people. And then you get the dirty ass bitch, the president of Mexico, la puerca cabrona, mintiendo de que si no, que si Estados Unidos, que si México, cante cabrona, si no fuera por los españoles, si no fuera por los españoles, if it wasn't for fucking Spain, you wouldn't have a fucking Mexico. Have you fucking forgot, you Jewish dirty bitch, the history of that fucking land? Do you know how long Mexico has been fucking built? And so that dirty bitch just got some nerve to be talking some dumb shit, some fucking false fucking narratives. If it wasn't for the United States of America, them dumbass fucking people wouldn't have learned shit. Them cheap ass slaves wouldn't have learned anything. Such a big fucking country, yet they haven't developed shit. You got people leaving the fucking country to come here, earn decent wage compared to there, and actually learn skills here. So don't yo, you can't sell me that bullshit. And whoever doesn't fucking like it, get the fuck out. You guys are a bunch of fucking liars, a bunch of fucking frauds, and a bunch of fucking pigs. Ustedes son unos faranduleros, puercos, embusteros. Es lo que son ustedes. No me vengan con esa mierda porque yo los enderezo rápido, cabrón. Ustedes todos son unos faranduleros, unos embusteros y unos puercos. Son bien pocos que vienen de ese país o que son de ese país o que son de esa raza y reconocen la realidad y la verdad de ese país y de su gente. Y de los culeros, puercos, pendejos que son wannabe gringos, que son los güeros de Estados Unidos, que no siguen la tradición ni la cultura, ni reconocen a su gente, que si, mira, que si tú te viste de azul y yo me he visto de rojo, que si tú eres norteño y yo soy sureño, mira, déjate esa mierda ya. Eso eran los 80 y los 70, cante cabrón. Esa mierda, en chorre bruto. Pues llegamos aquí. We got here because Vergil Ortiz, manager, apparently was just doing too much talking. You know, it's so easy for a guy of that caliber to get paid, knowing that you're dealing with Oscar de la Hoya, right? As a promoter. And if you're the manager, you need to look over that fucking contract. You should have looked over the contract and you should have kept your fucking mouth shut. Here's why. Oscar de la Hoya obviously has the connections that you don't. I don't know what your fucking name is. I've heard it before. I really don't give a fuck. And I don't feel like looking it up because you're a worthless piece of shit. You're irrelevant to the boxing world. I don't give a fuck how many fighters you got, who have you tricked into a contract, or what the fuck you've done. But obviously, you fucked up, you know, Vergil's activity in boxing at the moment. Okay? Because even if he was gonna duck, or even if he wasn't gonna fight Jaron Ennis, whatever the case may be, right now we're in fucking June. We're in June. We haven't seen Vergil Ortiz as a fan of the sport. I'm speaking from the fan perspective of the sport of boxing. We haven't seen Vergil Ortiz since November. We are in June. It is June 8th. Over 6 months of inactivity. That's fucked up. The guy's about to be 30 years old. Might as well say he's 30 years old if he isn't already. Vergil Ortiz has so much hype around his name. Now that he's the best at 154, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Y'all have heard it all. If y'all been on Twitter, y'all have heard it all, for sure. If y'all seen videos of interviews on YouTube and bullshit, y'all seen it. You guys have seen it. Y'all seen Oscar de la Hoya just be Oscar de la Hoya. Being full of shit. Talking all this shit. For no reason. For nothing. Because nothing got done. You want to say that you're the best, but you're not fighting the best. We're not seeing people at a higher level or former champions, good former champions, fight the guy. Okay? So, how did we get here? We got here because after November 8th, on November 8th, Let's get this shit straight. Noviembre 8, how did we get here? ¿Cómo llegamos aquí? ¿Cómo llegamos? ¿Cómo fue que llegó la pelea de Xander Zayas y Jaron a Barclays Center, Nueva York? ¿Cómo llegamos aquí? How did we get here? Well, Noviembre 8. Vergil Ortiz knocks out Erickson Lubin. Jaron gets into the ring. Vergil Ortiz tumba, gana por nocaut a Erickson Lubin. ¿Ok? Jaron viaja con su promotor de Filadelfia o Nueva York. Porque no sé de qué aeropuerto despegó. No sé de qué aeropuerto salió. Pero ellos ambos llegan a Texas. ¿Ok? Jaron se mete en el cualidrato luego que Vergil Ortiz tumba a Erickson Lubin y ellos están hablando de que vamos a hacer la pelea, pues vamos a hacerla, vamos a pelear. Luego de que eso sucede, after that happened, luego que eso sucede, cuando ellos terminan en el press conference, ¿ok? ¿Qué sucedió? Te voy a decir, I'm gonna tell you what happened. After they were both in the ring, they had a press conference. En la conferencia de prensa, lo primero que hace Oscar de la Hoya es, si la pelea no está a nuestro favor, no hay pelea. Nosotros vamos a negociar a mi favor, al favor de mi boxeador. Oh, we're not going to make the fight happen unless it makes sense to us, unless it favors us. I'm going to negotiate for my fighter. Those were the words of Oscar de la Hoya. At that very moment, once I saw that, I knew the fight was not going to happen. It was over. They always had an excuse. Always. If it wasn't Vergil Ortiz having the excuse, the manager, Oscar de la Hoya, fights would be getting made. Regardless. Vergil Ortiz would have had a title shot in Puerto Rico. Regardless. What happened instead? Vergil Ortiz ends up inactive for 6 months. Over 6 months, guys. It's been over 6 months. The guy has a fan base in Texas. I feel sorry for the guy. He actually has a good fan base in Texas. Crazy work, right? Crazy fucking work. So, here we got an inactive fighter that didn't get a title shot who's over 30 years old. All right? Over 30 years old, and he's inactive right now. No title shot. claims to be the best, the resume no longer shows that. At 154, I'll tell you what, it's actually disgusting right now that the Ring Belt magazine is not on the line for this unification versus Ennis and Zayas. They're the best at 154. They're the best. Give me a second. I'm gonna change the title. 6 plus months. I'm just gonna change the title real quick. All right. Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna just change this real quick. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. So back to the Vergil Ortiz situation. Once I saw, see, you gotta nip it in the butt. You always gotta nip it in the butt, bro. If you are an athlete and somebody's getting in the way of your money, you gotta figure out what the fuck you're gonna do. This is advice for everybody out there. When you have two people in your life that don't agree in what is best for you, then the first thing you need to figure out is who is it that you need to cut. You need to figure out who I'm gonna, remove from this business or from my life. And Vergil Ortiz should have got rid of his manager. He should have fired him. They both should have sat down, looked over the contract, whatever it is. He should have fired him. Then he gets in contact with his promoter, Oscar de la Hoya, and then he can advise Oscar who his new manager is. He can make anybody his manager on paper. And then he wouldn't have that issue of too many emails going around, too much bullshit going around. Because that's exactly what it is. They even try to lie on Xander Zayas, talking about these guys ended up trying to say that Xander Zayas was ducking when he was champion. And he told him straight up. He's like, yo, you want to fight? We can fight. We fight in Puerto Rico right now. We'll send you the contract. But they didn't want to do that. Instead, they just wanted to spread these false fucking spread false information, lie. They wanted to make people believe that the champion was ducking an overrated prospect. I said it, overrated prospect. The guy's 30 years old. Zayas is fucking 23 years old as a champion. 23 years old, champion. Unified champion at 23 years old. Xander Zayas' birthday is September 5th. Mine's on the 26th. He was born September 5th, 2002. 23 years old, and he's a unified champion. And as a unified champion, he's about to defend his world titles against a former champion, a former lineal champion, unified at 147. Jaron Boots Ennis is no joke. He didn't have to take the fight, but you know what? He dares himself to be great. He wants to be known as a great champion. So before he moves up to 160, if he's planning on doing that and going that route, he's going to give this fight to Jaron Butsenis. And you know what? Win, lose, or draw. If Xander Zayas really wants to move up in weight and go to 160, by all means, that's exactly what he should do. He's a tall guy. So the good news is that we're getting the fight that I wanted. That's the good news. The good news is we're getting a hell of a fight. Regardless, we're gonna get a hell of a fight. This is gonna be amazing. Okay. Um, and as I stated before, this fight really reminds me of Felix Tito Trinidad versus William Joppy. It really does. It reminds me of that. Give me a second. I'm gonna write a message to somebody. All right, I'm gonna try to put this fight in the background, and what I want to talk about here is, um, you know what? Let me edit this real quick. Yeah, this will go here. This will definitely look good here. I'm not too sure why the poll. Can I change the poll? Let me save this. Boom. Yeah, I could change it. I could put it here. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so I don't really have to change this. Boom. So I'm gonna try to bring up and put here the fight. somehow. Let me see. We're gonna share this window. I have to. Oh, I can't add a media slot. What's going on here? Mm, remove that one real quick. Just bear with me. I'm gonna show you guys, and I guess only for that one. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys real quick. Why I like this fight. Okay, custom layout 4. Excuse me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't like it like that. No, I'm trying to understand why and how I can. Okay, there we go. That's the one. All right, cool. So here, all I have to do now is I'll probably put it in theater mode. Perfect. Okay. If you take a look here real quick, Tito Trinidad was 5'11". His reach 74 inches. William Joppy was 5'10". Okay. 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 So what I'm gonna show you guys here also real quick. Let me see. Well, what I wanna see is Jaron Boots is 5'10", right? Xander Zayas is 5'10", 74 arm reach. 74-inch arm reach. It's a lot closer than what people think. What Jaron Boots Ennis has is gonna be the speed, but Xander Zayas can time it also. He doesn't have to be the first one to throw the jab. All Xander has to do is pick the right angle. Okay, that's one. Right, we're gonna go there. So we're gonna go back to the video. Watch this. We're back to the video. Joppy had a 72 arm reach. Okay, this fight was basically at 160. Okay, this fight was basically at 160. At the weigh-in, Trinidad was 159 and a quarter. Joppy was 158 and 3/4, 159. Okay, all right. For this fight, okay, this is important. This fight is gonna be the closest thing that you can find on the internet right now on YouTube on how this fight can turn out. The only difference, I'm going to tell you right now, the only difference between this fight and this present time is that the referees, a lot of the referees right now that we're looking at, or a lot of the fights, the referees are stopping the fight. They see a fighter hurt, whatever the case may be, they don't even let them try to win by a lucky punch or punching out of that situation. They get involved, they jump in, they stop the fight. Okay, so that's the difference between this fight that you see here. Okay, the fight that you see there with Joppy and Trinidad. Trinidad just moved up in weight. William Joppy was the champion. In fact, yeah, this is Trinidad's debut of 160. Watch this. Watch this. We're going over the stats of recent fights. So here's the deal. When Trinidad comes out, he is attempting to become the first fighter since Sugar Ray Leonard in 1987. The first fighter since Sugar Ray Leonard. This is what took Trinidad over that hump. Like a lot of people might think that is the Oscar de la Hoya fight. It's not the Oscar de la Hoya fight. It was that was a fight that went to decision, controversial win, and he beat one of the best. He beat the Golden Boy. But in reality, this fight is what took Trinidad to the next level. The Vargas fight, Vargas was very young, um, and he was just too small. Fernando Vargas was too small for Tito. Like, what you thought was gonna happen? I mean, the arm reach. You understand? It's like so. Trinidad goes to win the title, the middleweight title, from William Joppy. I'm not saying that the same certain things are gonna happen. Okay, it's gonna be a great fight. Okay, it's gonna be a great fight. Um, Jaron Ennis. He only had one fight at 154. Only one fight. He could have. He probably could have tried to do the same thing. He could have probably attempted to become and win a title at 154 on his debut. For whatever reason, Matchroom and for whatever other reason, promoters, etc., they didn't try to do it or they didn't get it. They didn't get that done. They got Jaron Tennis a fight at 154. He beat the guy in the first round, and now in his second fight at 154, he's gonna attempt to become a unified champion. He's gonna try to get two belts instead of just one. All right. So the Trinidad and Joppy fight is very, very similar to the Jaron Ennis and the Xander Zayas fight. All right. Let me show you guys a few things of what happened here in this fight. Um, the fight is gonna be very similar, I would say. Let's just take a look real quick. Let's go ahead and take a look, guys. Here, we'll take a look, and then you guys can see for yourselves. We're gonna go through the fight, and then we're gonna stop it every minute. This is something I want you guys to see real quick. Now I want to explain something. All right, let's pause here real quick. Okay, so there's different outcomes or different things that can happen in the fight on June 27th. Okay, and I'm gonna explain. If Jaron Ennis, there's two different fights you can look at. You can look into. Right? If we look at Jaron Ennis versus Stan, you could do Stanionis and you could do Karen, right? You could, if you look into those two fights, right? You see a sort of two different type of Jaron Ennis. Um, what happens here is for this fight, I say maybe also the style obviously makes a difference, no doubt. But Jaron Ennis in reality for the Stanionis fight, he fought patient, like as if he learned from the Karen fight. Karen didn't really stay. still through the entire fight. Um, if you were to look at both fights, Boots Ennis ends up like sort of gassing himself out too early in the fight because he's chasing around this guy who's not staying still, and he's trying to catch him. He's trying to set up punches, but the guy doesn't, stay in there or give him the range to land those shots. And so Jaron Boots Ennis, if you take a look at that fight, the Karen fight, you know, you see that he's not necessarily tired, but it's definitely like working him out. And it frustrates him a little bit. It frustrates even his father in the corner. If you look at the Karen fight. For the Stanionis fight, it's almost as if he wanted Stanionis to get comfortable enough to throw punches, and he was already with the mentality like, I'm gonna go ahead and use my defense to hurt this guy. And the moment I see him staying still with a high guard, I'm gonna tee off. And that's exactly what that was his plan. Like if you were to look at that, we're gonna take a look real quick. See, jab, moving away. Not putting the pressure, but moving away. Jab, moving away. Jab, jab, moving away. Now, is that the style that he needs to go with versus Xander Zayas? Now he's in the pocket, he's moving, picking the angle that he wants, jab, so he doesn't leave his head in one spot. Jab, jab, stab at the body. Stanionis, he doesn't have the reach. He doesn't have the reach that Boots has. Stanionis tries to throw, shots at the body. Now, that's not the type of fight that Xander Zayas is going to give Jaron Busenis. He's actually going to try to box. I question who's going to be less patient come fight night between Ennis and Zayas. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and put here, show you guys a little bit of what he's doing. Instead of putting the pressure, he's just moving away, saving, conserving energy for some good power shots. Boom. Gets him off balance with that good, beautiful right hook. All right. And that was to the body. And and that's the thing. I mean, should Boots fight this style of fight with Xander Zayas? Maybe he should. Let me take back what I said earlier. I think this is the plan that he's actually gonna have most likely against Xander Zayas, because if we go to the Karen fight, we're just gonna take a look at a few minutes here, a few minutes there, different rounds. I want to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here. How he sort of gets tired. It's like second round. By the end of the second round, he's like chasing Karen. He can't get him. His father in the corner telling him he's not here to fight. Let me take a look here. He's standing. Wait, this is the first fight? I think I was watching the second fight. Let me see. I can't tell if this is the first one or the second one. I honestly don't know. But boom! You saw that uppercut? That uppercut is key. Ennis uppercut is key to victory for Xander Zayas. It is a nice punch that he throws. Um, and he throws it in different angles as he's moving. You understand? So he's Xander Zayas really needs to be careful coming in, and it's better for him to fight off his back foot, not not get caught up in the inside, not going high guard. Xander Zayas has to fight off his back foot the entire fight. That's the key to victory for Xander Zayas. Um, until he actually can, see that his opponent is probably a little fatigued, frustrated, then he can, you know, do a lot of the things that he actually learned in the gym, you know. But he has to do it moving his feet constantly, which he does. But he has to throw combinations and get out. Throw a combination and get out. Throw a combination, get out. Because it's not gonna be an easy fight, man. The Jaron Butsen is, he's a good athlete, gym rat. He's gonna be a good fight. It's not gonna be an easy fight. Let's take a look here again. Let's take a look. You see that fast jab? You see that fast jab? Ooh, see how he was able to catch Boots with that counter left hook. Now that's at 147. You already know what I'm about to say next. At 154, that's the weigh-in before the fight. The day of the fight, Zayas is gonna be over 160. He's gonna be over. He's gonna come in over 160 pounds, probably like 165, 160. Let's just say 165, most likely. If Zayas counters Jerome Boots Ennis like that, that's gonna be a knockdown. That's gonna be a knockdown. See, fast jab. That jab is so fast. Ooh. See, he could take punches. Jerome Boots Ennis could take punches. That's the fight. Oh, that's the fight that Xander Zayas has to avoid right there. He has to fight a smart fight, stay on the outside, and try to make a miss jab, stab the body, work the body early. You gotta stab the body, work the body early, jab the body because you want this guy, you want your Rambo Ennis to seriously slow down as the fight progresses. So you want to work down his stamina like as soon as possible. You understand me? Even though he's gonna be, Xander Zayas is gonna be looking for the 1-2 down the middle. He is gonna be looking for that because you see what Boots just did right there. Oh, he throws the jab. Let's go slow motion. Let's put it in slow motion. You see how he missed right there? You see how he extended, but he missed? Okay, what happens next? It all depends on the reach and the timing, ring IQ, and you gotta have skill. Okay? Look how he threw that punch. He has his left hand up and he throws the jab, right? If the fighter is good enough and has about the same reach, same length, and he just somehow avoids that punch with footwork, as he's moving to the left with the left foot, he's going to be able to counter that. Now, whether he decides to counter that with a straight or with a jab is up to the fighter. If you counter it with a straight, sometimes Mayweather will counter you with a straight, and then he could follow up with a jab and a second straight, or even go to the body, or even with the upper. Like you decide that third punch combination, what you want to do. It depends on your skill. It depends on your skill. Obviously, Mayweather was gifted. He was fast. You saw that though. That's crazy how. All right, so this isn't the one that I was thinking. The other fight that I saw. Let's see, fifth round. Oof. Okay, so Zaya's gotta avoid that. He can't miss. He cannot avoid. I mean, he cannot afford. Sorry, to get hit like that. Okay, and he has to avoid the ropes also. That's what we are all afraid of. Whoever is a Xander Zayas fan, that's what we're afraid of right there. Um, round five. This had to be the second fight. You see how conserved he was in this fight versus. Let me see. Not the same that then. I'm looking for the Showtime one. This is the second one. I'm looking for the one where he had purple gloves. Where's it at? Why they don't got the second one? Like, anyways, let me see the zone box. I think the zone has it's the one that uploaded the fight. Let me see. Here you go. Not purple, but bluish. These are the ones. PBC. This is what, oh, he was signed to PBC. Watch this. This is crazy right here. Watch. All right. So this is the first time they fought, if I'm not mistaken. And we're all worried, right? We're all worried because Xander Zayas is only 23 years old. He's young, but he's been in the game since 16. So kudos to him. So let's see. You see how he keep moving with boots, just like this. This is one of the fundamental things that Zayas has to do the entire fight. I'm sorry. I don't give a damn what anybody thinks or has to say. He has to, like, absolutely has to move around the ring. Throw punches as you move, you know? Throw punches as you move. This is the fight right here. Boom. This is the fight, man. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to slow it down. We're gonna go to point seven. And this is exactly, we're gonna take a look here. I'm my lazy boy. Feeling like a lazy boy. I'm a lazy every day. Fuck life. But anyways, so let's take a look here. Look, oof, oof. You see how Boots Ennis is putting a lot of energy moving forward, leaping, throwing. Yo, I mean, he went out there to kill the guy. You understand me? Ram Boots Ennis, he's known as a power puncher because the guy not only can he punch, he puts punches together. You understand me? This guy is a very tough boxer that will make you take a knee. We just got done seeing that. We just got done seeing how Karen, in the second fight, he ended up taking a knee. But you see this guy's footwork. You see how he keeps moving. boom, trying to understand the range, etc. So Xander Zayas has to do the same thing. He has to constantly move. Boom. He has to constantly move the entire fight. And to be honest, the right hook. Listen, let me tell you something, man. The right hook. We're gonna go back to the Tito Trinidad and the William Joppy fight because this is what I'm trying to show you guys. I'm trying to show you guys what are the things that can happen. But Xander Zayas has to constantly move through the entire fight. To his left is best. If Boots is gonna fight Orthodox and jab with his right hand, then it's best for Zayas to honestly fight moving around the ring, going towards his left, and trying to counter with a right hook to the chin and face of Jaron Boots Ennis. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about here. You ready? Total different fight. Total different fight. And we're gonna go back to this first round just so we can see how Tito fights and if Xander Zayas really has the guts to do something very similar to what Tito Trinidad did this night. Woo! All right, so remember I told you guys that in this fight we're gonna end up having probably a referee step in, stop the fight, something that referees back in the day they sort of you know thought about twice, or sometimes they let shit slide, let a fighter punch his way back into the fight, maybe get lucky, whatever the case may be. So watch this. All right, let's go back to the beginning. Watch this. You see how Tito's fighting? You see how Tito Trinidad is fighting? He has to do something very similar. Xander Zayas has to fight like that. And when you look at some of the Xander Zayas fights, he moves a little bit like that. Like he moves around the ring. He has good footwork. Um, he has to do this exact thing that Trinidad did. Look, take a look. Which is stay away from power punches and the end of a punch. Stay away from the inside in the beginning of the fight. Understand range and look for your advantages. Moving around the ring. Staying at long range. Very important for this fight. For Xander Zayas. Make, he has to make Boots Ennis follow him around the ring. And for the most part, they can actually, for most of the fight just like this in the middle of the ring. Boots and Zayas can honestly box around the ring. Very nice. It's gonna be a great fight, man. I can't wait. But let's take a look at Tito and his footwork and how he moves around the ring, keeping a distance away from his opponent, making smart decisions, picking his shots, thinking about the accurate punches that he can land. Oh, let's pause it right there. We're gonna go back to that real quick. Just bear with me. I'm gonna go back to the film here real quick. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in the same playback speed that I had earlier. I'm gonna put it at 75. You seen that right hand? Oh man, I want to see this fight. I'm gonna watch this fight real quick. Let's go back. Jab, jab. Yeah, this is very important. This fight right here, this is the fight I'm trying to tell you guys. I swear to God, this is the fight right here. Okay, that Xander Zayas has to learn from. That he has to be watching. It's okay to watch your opponent's film. That's good. The fundamental of boxing is here. So right there, William Joppy tries three jabs in a row. Starts off the round aggressive early. The champ. Okay, let's go back. All right, this is the fight that Xander Zayas has to learn from, guys. I don't even know what I did with the lighter. You see that? Wow. Dude, was that four or three? Like aggressive. Comes out aggressive. And I don't know what I did with my lighter. And I'm getting mad. One, two, three. Looking for the range. About five punches just to start. Then he tries a left hook. Trinidad lands the first punch with a jab. Joppy throws a jab. Woo! And an over right hand. This punch that Joppy, this is the fight that Xander Zayas has to learn from. He has to take that punch right there, that one move from William Joppy, and put it in his textbook. You hear me? This is a very important shot that he has to take at Jaron tennis. Watch. Is a jab. Oof. So basically, it's a jab to the face, and before you pull that, before he pulls his entire arm back, he feints to the body and comes over with a right hand. Bro, that's ring IQ, great boxing mentality. Anybody who's a puncher, this is some Gervonta Tank Davis type of shit right here. Okay? These are the guys that came before the guys that you watch or that you're a fan of. Guys, by all means, go watch this fight. I'm trying to tell you, this is the fight that's going to look very similar to June 27th. People, people. Okay, that's exactly what we need, or that's what exactly what Xander Zayas has to do right there. Basically, until you realize that you have hurt your opponent with a good shot, a great counter, until you realize that you've actually hurt your opponent, that's exactly what you should be doing. Working off working off your back foot, so then when you actually shock or like stun, when you stun your opponent with a specific shot or two, then you start moving forward and become the aggressor. Your opponent is gonna be trying to move backwards, but because it's in the middle of a round, you have a very high chance of landing a lot of good punches. At that moment, he is basically trying to backpedal, um, trying to get back on defense, which not everybody can do. Now, Boots is a good defender. He has good defense, good ring IQ, but he has gotten caught before. Like, not down, but you know, like a good shot here or there, not in major. Shit that he's used to, whatever the case may be. And don't forget, the guy has trained with Canelo, Canelo Alvarez. So, you know, he can probably take these punches, man. We're gonna find out. We're about to find out how this fight is gonna play out. I honestly think that that the fight between Xander Zayas and Jaron Ennis is gonna look very similar to the William Joppy and Tito Trinidad fight. Let's continue watching. That was just the first round. Woo! Okay, again. I wanna tell you guys that the referee for this fight, June 27, might end up stopping the fight prematurely. And if they do, if he does, it's gonna upset a lot of boxing fans. But it can happen vice versa because Boots has the speed, the ring IQ. He's accurate with his punches. He's athletic, and if he hurts Xander Zayas, he's gonna jump on top of him. If he knocks him down, he's gonna try to finish the job as soon as possible, knowing that the referee can't stop the fight. Okay, Xander Zayas, he might try to go for the win right away, but it all depends on the situation. He's mentally prepared. He knows when his opponent is hurt. He's mentally prepared, and he's willing to exchange in different rounds. Not every round. Hey, yo, look at that though. Look at that. Back in the day, this was before the spectator um, scorecards that basically don't got shit to do with the fight other than commentate. or the commentator's scorecard. Back in the day, the judges would let you know who they gave that round to. Look at that, 10-8. Lets you know the judge and everything. These are the official. To 63. And honestly, nobody could like knock me for comparing this fight to what we're about to see June 27. I mean, just just to go to YouTube, find this fight for yourself. Take a look at this fight. William Joppy is a very active boxer. Just take a look at this fight. He got knocked down, came out round two, still looking to jab, throw punches, exchange, fighting like a champion. You understand me? William Joppy was a good fighter. And Trinidad showed why he was great that night. Oof. 500. Suelto. Ok. Oh, you see how active? You see how active William Joppy was, yo? Like he was knocked down in the first round, and he's still like he was there to fight, bro. Wow. Mm. watch that round again. Diablo, papi, alto mirame. Diablo, alto mirame, brother. Se fueron al tacho. That left hook landed clean. Yo, crazy. Yo, y'all saw that shit? Y'all saw how he was holding the ropes. And this is what I was talking about. Like, you know, um, nowadays a lot of referees stop the fight early. They're telling them to move the head. The head not moving. Keep your head moving and rolling. I know a lot of people, man. Listen, a lot of people think that Xander Zayas can't drop Jaron Ennis, and that's not the case. Oof. If Zayas if Zayas gets some good punches in, we're talking. Listen, I told you guys when they rehydrate the day of the fight, they come in at 154. But the day of the fight, they're gonna come in like over a 160, 165. That's gonna be big. Like it's gonna be a great fight, honestly. Uh, Oof. Yeah. Ooh. And that's how that fight turned out. And again, I'm not showing you guys this clip of Tito Trinidad um because a Puerto Rican won. It's because this is 160, okay, middleweight. This is 160. It was his debut. Nobody had done it since Sugar Ray Leonard, 1987. Jaron Boots Ennis, this is his second fight. He was damn near close to trying to do something, repeat history again, moving up in weight to get, a title. Um, this doesn't mean that Xander Zayas, this clip, this video from the past, doesn't mean that Xander Zayas is gonna win. The outcome of the fight, will be June 27, but it's gonna be very similar, very very similar to this fight, very similar. Uh, Very similar fight, man. It's gonna be a great fight, nonetheless. Karen, Karen frustrated Boots. Karen frustrated Boots through this entire fight. Let's take a look at this. This is only the first round, right? Watch what happens. Oh, 300. Skip this real quick. Constantly moving, constantly moving. But while you're moving, you gotta set up your punch. And Xander Zayas is gonna be able to throw a hook and move and continue moving. He's gonna be able to throw a jab, a straight, and continue moving. We'll see. We're gonna see what happens. You see how many punches Ennis threw there? He threw like three punches in combination right there in close range, and in like less than 2 seconds, yo. In like 1.8. I don't even know, bro. Honestly, Zayas has to keep distance through the entire fight. Again, until you actually hurt your opponent, and then you could do something like what Trinidad did. Be safe on that outside. Pick your angles. Jab. What? I need 400. 400. And this baseball game got me like. Damn. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's see. I'm about to switch them. Switch. Is it unlimited? And then that guy's outdated. I need the 4,000 XP. Like, as soon as possible. Come on. You seen how aggressive Boots came out in that round? Going to the body and everything. He has to make that part of his game plan. The uppercut, Going to the body also with power shots. It's gonna be a tough fight, man. Obviously, there is a huge possibility that Zayas does lose or whatever the case may be. But man, if Zayas beats Jaron Ennis, it's gonna be just as big as when Tito Trinidad beat William Joppy. This is gonna be huge. This is gonna be a great fight. Oof, oof. Here we go. Got him in the corner. Boom, boom. Both of those punches landed, bro. Jaron Ennis is accurate with his punches. Steps back, steps back. See the difference between see you see that right there? The difference between Karen and Xander Zayas is that right there. Xander Zayas would have been looking to throw probably a combination or at least jab or something. Like it's ridiculous. But man, you guys can judge it for yourself. I think Xander Zayas has a great chance on winning this fight. I really do. Um, Many people will say otherwise, but you know what? A lot of people don't know shit about boxing. A lot of people don't know shit about boxing. So it's all good, bro. It doesn't matter, what people think. This fight is gonna be a good fight, regardless of how people think it's gonna go. So it is what it is. I'm gonna get ready for this New York Knicks and Spurs game, man. I hopefully, San Antonio can make a comeback for sure, but we'll see what happens, etc. You guys have a good one. I mean, enjoy the pay-per-view, order it, have no interruptions. This is June 27th. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you have to do. Enjoy the fight as a fan. This is gonna be a great one to remember. This is gonna be huge, man. Stay tuned.